All right. Hey. All right. This video is gonna be a little interesting because I'm gonna have to shout over all the mufflers and exhausts that are going off in the background. As you all know, from the preview, you already know what type of vehicle I rented. So I just want to also let you know that I'm here in the beautiful, sunny Sandy Springs, which is a metro area of Atlanta. Like I say, man, these people with these exhausts, it's exhausting. It's literally exhausting trying to speak over them. But I'm here in Sandy Springs, metro of Atlanta. I'm actually going today to Reynolds, Georgia for the car show that's in Reynolds, Georgia. But once I realized there was also the Octane and Coffee here near Atlanta, I was like, I might as well drive the extra hour, go to one of my favorite cities in America, the ATL, Hot Atlanta, and I'm gonna just jump right to it. And like I say, you already saw the vehicle from the preview, but let's just get right into it. And there she is. It's a Jeep Wrangler Sport, a 2020 Jeep Wrangler. It's actually a very interesting vehicle. I myself personally have never been, actually no, I don't want to say that. I actually like Jeeps. I like them a lot. To me, I feel like Jeeps are one of the most customizable vehicles that exist on earth, besides maybe like a Mustang or something like that, because I see people customize Mustangs a lot, but they definitely customize Jeeps a whole lot. And it was one of those things where this wasn't the vehicle that I asked for or that I even wanted, but out of all the options they had, this was the only one that I had never driven before. And I was like, you know what, why not? I mean, you only live once and then you die. So I just felt like, you know what, let me go ahead and drive a Jeep at least once in my life. Man, and like I keep saying, actually right down here is where a lot of the cars are leaving. So there's just a lot of exhaust coming from over here with the pipes. There was a bunch of people in the parking garage earlier, so I was in there to do this review and I couldn't do it because it was just so loud. But even though this spot is loud, it's not as loud as some of the other spots that I was originally going to review this car. But let's get right back to it. Is the front end of the vehicle. I have noticed that some of the 2020 models actually have tinted, like the blue halogen headlights. This one didn't, but I mean, it's fine because it's just a rental vehicle. But the one thing I will say, when it comes to Jeeps, I mean, I honestly feel like they haven't changed much in the past 20 or 30 years. It's funny to me, like this Jeep doesn't even have a Jeep logo on the front of it. And I think it's just because when you see a Jeep, you know a Jeep. So they don't have to put a logo on it for you to know that it's a Jeep, because you just know a Jeep when you see a Jeep. Actually, I do take that back. I guess they did put it here on the side because yes, they do have to advertise to make some money. So yes, it's the Jeep Wrangler Sport Unlimited. It's definitely been a very interesting vehicle to drive. As far as the handling goes, I'll say this. From Orlando to Atlanta is about 6.5 hours. I would say the first 4 hours in this vehicle, the exhaust, it's exhausting. But getting back to this, I would say the first 4 hours in this vehicle was just kind of horrible. Like, it's definitely, and Jeep people don't get mad at me, but I definitely feel like it's not a road trip vehicle. Like, yeah, it's nice when you're in the city and maybe when you're going up the mountains or going over some rocks, you know, and things like that. But as far as on the road, it doesn't handle well to me personally. Just compared to some other vehicles I have, it doesn't really have a nice smooth ride. But let me just clarify. After being in it for 6 hours, I realized, like, okay, it doesn't feel that bad. But when I first got into it, kind of jumping out my personal vehicle into this vehicle, and just based on the other vehicles that I've rented, this one, it took a while for it to just kind of, for me to get used to it. Those first 4 hours was pure HEL. It has not changed to me with this vehicle over the years. I mean, they still look the same. There are little things that are different, but for the most part, I feel like it's the same vehicle that it's been for years and years and years, at least the Jeep Wrangler part. Obviously the Jeep Cherokee and things like that are definitely different, But this Wrangler just seems like the same vehicle that it's always been for years. The only good thing about it is you can actually customize it to make it your very own. All right, so let's try to get inside the vehicle. Like I say, man, this the Jeeps are nice. I mean, they're nice vehicles, but they are kind of tough. I mean, they're definitely rugged. Even this one, to be a 2020, I almost feel like I'm driving like a 2012 or something like that. It's just so rough. And you hear that? A friend of mine, I saw somebody on Facebook recently post about G-Wagons. And I was trying to think how to explain, because I went to an auto show and I got a chance to sit inside a G-Wagon. And I was trying to explain to him about the G-Wagon. The best way I can put it is this Jeep Wrangler almost feels like a G-Wagon. Like how rugged it is. Like you see how that noise it makes when you shut the door? That's kind of how the G-Wagon was to me. Even the inside of this vehicle feels sort of like a G-Wagon. So I know the Jeep was first, I think. So maybe the G-Wagon copied off the Jeep. But yes, here we are with the interior of the Jeep. And like I say, even the, to me personally, even the interior just doesn't seem, it just seems kind of dated. That's the way I personally feel, like it just seems dated. There are definitely some things in here that makes me realize like, oh, wait a minute, this is a newer vehicle. But a lot of it just seems kind of dated to me, personally. It also does have manual drive. Unfortunately, I don't know how to drive a manual, so I would never use that. It is interesting to me the fact that the window switch is here in the center instead of on the side where most of us are used to it. Another thing about this, it doesn't have a lot of DC adapters, like a lot of 12-volt DC adapters. I was expecting it to have more since it is a Jeep, and a Jeep is supposed to be like an outdoor rugged type of vehicle, especially this one, but it just didn't have that. And so I guess this right here is a safety bar in case you flip over. You can kind of grab it and hopefully you won't fall out. Oh yeah, one other thing I forgot to mention. I don't know if you could tell, the thing I've enjoyed the most about this vehicle is going topless. That is the one thing that makes me realize this is probably why people still enjoy getting Jeeps and why they still are so popular, because of the option you have to go topless. Now this part here was very easy to take off, and I even just stuck it in the trunk. I have my side open just to kind of show you what it looks like when it's on. Only thing I will say about this top is it's a lot like a convertible, where it's not 100% windproof. One thing I will say, it was funny, in Atlanta it was very cold, and so when I finally put the top back on, it got very warm. So it did make me realize like it definitely has great insulation, but it's not windproof. So like the whole time you're driving, unless you turn the radio up, you can still kind of hear the wind blowing, you know, at the top of the vehicle, something that you wouldn't hear in a regular car that has a regular roof. And yeah, and basically to take this roof off is pretty simple. I mean, it's like it's these little knobs here. There's a, let me see if I can get, yeah, there's a pulley right here. There's another knob back here that you twist. I'm sorry, that locked it to unlock. And then there's one more here. And then basically, yeah, top off. I mean, the top comes right off. And I've already decided, as I get ready to leave to go back home, I'm gonna definitely go topless for just a little bit, you know, while I still have the Jeep. Because that is the one fun thing about it, I must say, is the fact you can go topless. Like I say, I always talk about compartments and things like that. It, I hate because it only got 2 cup holders up. It only has 2 cup holders up front, which, as some of you know from my other videos, I like a lot of cup holders. So that was a little disappointing. I mean, it does have little compartments where you can, you know, put things, but for me personally, it definitely doesn't have a whole lot. And even in here, I was expecting to find another 12-volt DC adapter inside of here, but it didn't have one. And so, you know, it's stupid, but little things like that to me are kind of disappointing. And like I say, this vehicle is meant to be a rugged type of truck. I mean, a rugged type of, I mean, you know, a Jeep was the original SUV. So that's what I think they're trying to kind of hold on to and stick with when it comes to these Jeeps. So let me try to get out and let me try my backseat test. I have not tried to get, no, one thing I will say, and I probably didn't mention this earlier, there's not a whole lot of space in here. For a guy like me, 6'2", it's like the whole time I was just wishing and praying that I can let this seat go back further. but the seat couldn't go back any further. And I mean, yeah, I was able to fit into it, but to say fit into it comfortably, sometimes not really. I just had to kind of get used to it. For the longest time, I didn't know how to recline the seat, but I found out it's this little knob right here that you pull up to recline the seat up or down. This right here makes it go higher or lower, which I definitely needed to be lower, but it was a little disappointing that that's as far back as the seat goes. So a lot of the times my knees were like right up here against the dash almost, you know, right here against this part there. So yeah, so let me try to get into the back seat to do my backseat test. Like I said, this whole top here comes off. It just seems like you have to have some special tools to take it off to go completely topless. And that's what I wanted to do. If I had the Jeep for a little bit longer, I definitely would have tried to find out how to take this whole top off, but I don't have it enough days to do that. So let me try to squeeze into this back seat with my camera. And okay, now, all right, I'm in the back seat. I will definitely say there's not a whole heap of room back here. But, and actually, by the way, my toe is still broken, so I still have my boot. And there ain't a whole lot of space back here, but it's actually kind of comfortable. Like, it don't feel too bad. It almost makes me wish I was on a road trip with somebody else so they could drive and I could just sit in the back and sort of be comfortable. I don't know how comfortable it is. Man, you can hear that exhaust all over the place. I don't know how comfortable it is. Well, no, I mean, I don't know how comfortable the ride would be in the back. That exhaust is exhausting. I don't know how comfortable the ride would be in the back, but right now it actually feels pretty good. But like I said before, I'm still very disappointed that there's no 12-volt AC, 12-volt DC adapters in the back of this vehicle. It's like, Jeep, you gotta step your game up. I mean, you're a Jeep. You are the original sport utility vehicle, so you should have more adapters than anybody on earth. So yeah. Looks like you have enough space for, you know, 3 people in the back, a small child or something like that, at least 2 adults in the back, maybe a small child. Like I said, man, I would love to be able to get this top here off. I just wish it was as easy as the front to take off in the back. The speakers right here, I mean, it has a pretty decent sound system, not the best that I've heard, but you know, it's okay. And like I say, man, it's just, yeah, everything about this vehicle is kind of rugged. And as I was trying to explain to a friend, which now I think I'll be able to better tell him, the G-Wagon, to me, for me personally, the G-Wagon is similar to the Jeep. Or should I say the Jeep is, yeah, the G-Wagon is similar to the Jeep with the way it handles. And so right here is, you know, where you put your gas. It doesn't come with a gas cap. So I guess hopefully nobody would be nasty enough to just kind of steal this, because people are crazy. This is how you open up the rear end. Like I say, it opens that way to the side, similar to the G-Wagon also. And this end here opens like this. And one thing I will say, now I did notice that if you have this door here open, you actually can't close this on top of it. You have to close the window first and then shut the door in order to secure the vehicle. No, the Jeep is the original sport utility vehicle. See, I didn't know where to put this top. This is actually the top from the front of the vehicle. And I will say, it ain't too heavy, but it ain't, you know, it ain't light either. I don't think a child could lift it up. But like I say, here's the rear. You know, definitely you got enough room and storage for, you know, a couple of friends, a couple of bags. Like I say, the whole top can come off, but I don't know if, you know, I mean, obviously if you take it off, you're gonna have to secure your stuff because it's gonna be stuff blowing all over the place. But let me move this back so I can shut this. And like I said before, you have to shut this top here first before you can close the door. I was also a little disappointed that I got a car that has a Florida tag, because when I, you know, drive crazy, people know that I'm from Florida, and then they blame Floridians for the bad way that I drive. And, you know, there you have it. I mean, that's really all I can think to say about the Jeep. One other thing, the gas mileage. Actually, hang on. So, you know, one thing that makes you realize it's new is it definitely has the push to start. So let's start this baby up. Like I say, nothing too extravagant. It doesn't make any fancy Doesn't have any fancy presentations or anything like that. And yes, so right now it claims it's getting 21 miles to the gallon, but I swear this thing is only getting about 15, maybe 16 miles to the gallon. It just feels like it's burning a lot of gas. I just think that's just the way these Jeeps are. Like, they're not meant to be something to, you know, there's not meant to be a vehicle you're gonna get if you want to save gas. I mean, these vehicles are meant to be rough. They're meant to be rugged. They're meant to have fun in. And so I think if you're a person who is concerned about gas, this definitely may not be the vehicle for you. And I know I'm concerned about gas, so I definitely know this is not the vehicle for me. And let's just do one more final swoop of the vehicle. Like I say, overall, it's definitely been a fun vehicle to drive. Besides the gas issues and the rough and rugged, you know, feel of the drive on the highway. That's been my only real complaint, but everything else has been, you know, so-so. It's a Jeep, so I mean, you know, I knew what to expect. I knew it wasn't going to be the best. I knew it wasn't going to be the worst. But it's pretty nice. Like I say, it definitely has not changed much in the past couple of years, I feel like. But, you know, I see why people still enjoy them and why people are still purchasing these vehicles. Woo, woo, woo. All right. And so, as I've always said, thank you very much for all the support. Thank you for checking out these vehicles. These videos. I know these vehicle review videos are not as popular as some of the other vehicles as I know these review vehicles. I should cut this part out, but I'm gonna keep it in there to let you guys see what happens, you know, when you're recording this stuff. I know these review vehicles are, I know these review videos are not as popular as some of the other videos I post, and so I apologize for that. But it's just one of those things where me, myself, personally, I'm trying to get used to being more in front of the camera and talking, you know, and hearing myself on YouTube and things like that. Because, you know, I'm trying to prepare for some big things, and the best way to prepare for big things is to practice, 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 practice. So once again, thank you guys for all the support. Thank all of you who walk up to me at the shows and like, man, I watch your channel, I love your stuff. I really appreciate that. I mean, honestly, it makes me feel all warm and gooey inside knowing that, you know, you people are out there watching my stuff and you're enjoying it. That's all I care about. And for those of you who watch my stuff and don't enjoy it, go watch something else. Let me not say that. I appreciate you too, because you people are the ones who who help me want to improve and do better and be better. So as I said before, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all those good old-fashioned things. And if you have a vehicle out there that you would like Cuzzintruck with his unreliable, all over the place reviews to review your vehicle and give my honest opinion, definitely feel free to contact me, message me. Just keep in mind that I will need to keep the vehicle for a couple hours or even a couple of days to really test it out and, you know, see what it's really all about. So I thank you guys a lot. Like I said, right now I'm getting ready to head to Reynolds, Georgia. I forget the name of the show, but it's basically like a big rim show. And those are always the most popular videos besides the bike week stuff. And so like I said, once again, I just thank you guys for all the support, and I'll holler at you next time. Peace.